Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode to another movie podcast. I used another twice in that sentence, but that's okay. I'm leaving it. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew, and I'm joined by my two other gentlemen hosts. Introduce yourselves, my gents.
I will go first because I'm freezing and a little chattery. If you guys hear some chattering, that's my teeth. I am Rico de Gallo. I am very cold and have no heat because of the storm.
And I'm Andrew. And to add to Rico's point, there's a storm out where we all live. The area, the vicinity we all slumber is a little cold, little wet right now. We're dealing with some flooding and stuff like that and power outages. Pretty wild. But we're here. We're still recording. We're
Yeah,
very excited to get today's episode.
yeah, which is why we are back to our old setup where we are just doing it remotely and going back to our old programs with OBS.
Yeah, we're in our own isolated little areas, but like Andrew said, the show must go on. We're not going to stop.
Yes,
We
sir.
got a we got a double doozy for you today of blood, guts, gore, horror. I'm really excited for this episode. Very, very pleased with what we had to watch.
Nice, nice. So, if you guys are ready, do you want me to introduce the first one? Do you want to start with the newest one that just came out called Violent Night?
Fuck yeah, let's get right to it. I'm ready. Let's get into the first movie, which is yes, what you said, Violent Night. Rico, take it away. These were your two movies. This is your week. Let's hear those plot synopsis details.
All right, so Violent Night is pretty much a movie about Santa Claus regaining his Christmas spirit, trying to regain his love for the whole season altogether because in this new world that we live in, everyone is very greedy, materialistic, doesn't really have the same kind of flair that Christmas used to have before, and he's on his last limbs. Right now, he's considering that this might be the last Christmas he ever does. However, a Christmas miracle happens, and a family is taken kidnapped, taken hostage, and a lot of people die. And now it's time for Kris Kringle to kick some ass. And that is the story of Violent Night. So, what did you guys think of this movie?
All right. I love your enthusiasm in your
I was
description,
about to
dude.
say, that was real,
That
Fuck
was
yeah.
descriptive.
I think this is a good movie directly after our John Wick trilogy, to be honest. Like this
yeah,
kind of went
Mhm.
right in line with those movies with in terms of the action, the violence, and yeah, the one thing this movie though, I think where its main shining factor is its comedy and David Harbour in the lead role. Like,
yeah,
man, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, damn, why was this not done before? Like, just David Harbour just seems so good for a role like this, kind of like a
Mhm.
bad-esque type Santa. And damn, hell, fuck, I'm really glad a movie like this exists. Like, this was something I saw in the theaters, and yeah, let me tell you guys, this was like one of the best audience reaction movies I've been to in a long time. I'd probably say the movie theater was probably like 45, maybe 50% full. But yeah, you would get reactions to this movie like you were watching like a Marvel movie on opening Thursday night. Seriously,
Mhm.
people were really digging this movie in the showing that I saw it in. Comedy works very well. The action works very well. Like I said, David Harbour works amazingly. Ugh, I really really enjoyed this movie. It's a lot of fun. We'll get into some other criticisms I have with it later, but yeah, overall, I think it's a fun movie. What do you think, Andrew? What are your general thoughts?
Oh, I really liked it. I had a good time with it. Very you could tell it was supposed to be like it's rated R, but it's still weirdly like family friendly
it is.
despite that.
Yeah,
It was really good action. A lot. David Harbour was great. I think he's been kind of wasted recently in like Hollywood stuff, like everything with Hellboy. Like, oof, like not to get
mm.
into that, but you know, it's good to
Oh
see him
yeah,
doing good after that. He's getting back on his feet in a really good way with a good start.
Like my whole opinion of Mr. Harbour is like basically like he really took off with like Stranger Things, and when I found out that Hellboy didn't do well, I was really upset because he's a great actor. Like there's a couple scenes in this movie where it shows him as like a Viking or as a Nord or something. I don't know what he is, but man, he looks badass right there. And I was like, I would really like to see him in like more movies like this, essentially. like kind of like a black comedy in a way, a very slight black comedy, and just I don't know, it really opens the doors for what he could possibly do. I really want to see him in more action movies.
Yeah, and also comedy as well. Like I think that's another thing that you touched upon that I would like to see as well. Like I'd love to see him in more type of movies like this for in terms of action and comedy. I know we kind of got that with Marvel's Black Widow. I know he was in that for a good chunk of the movie, and yeah, this is much more or less kid friendly than what you did in Black Widow. I don't know. I think it's to more better effect here. Like this is kind of like what I want to see David Harbour more so do. I want him to do more fun roles aside from, I can definitely see him start to do more Oscar baity roles in the future. But as of right now, where we have him in this space of fun, I really dig it. I think this role was a huge win for him, and I think he's a huge reason of why this movie works.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel like with this, it kind of makes me want to see like that Winnie the Pooh movie. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah, the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah, Blood and Honey.
What about this movie makes you excited for that?
All right, so the whole like aspect of like Santa Claus is very jolly, like fellow, becoming this like oh no, I'm actually a past warrior, a fucking rage beast. I used to be the worst of the worst. And then like that whole like ancient backstory that's never been around just being put into it, and like, yeah, I used to be a big deal. I used to be a badass back then, and I guess I can kill all these guys. And like, I think that there's like a hilarity about how just absurd the story is about this, that it kind of makes me want to see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, just because I'm like, it's open to free domain now. Everyone can use it. They can, if they want to make that horror movie. I actually really, really want to see it now, just because of this one.
We can make a Winnie the Pooh movie, guys.
We could. No one would sue us. They can't.
I want to be Winnie the Pooh. I call it right now. I want to be Winnie the Pooh. That's that. No one else can be him but me.
Can I be Christopher Robin?
Okay, you know what? That attitude is aligned with Winnie the Pooh. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, you got it. No, I don't really know much about Winnie the Pooh. I just know he's funny shit.
Oh, he's very gluttonous, man. Very Seven Deadly Sins type of cast we got there.
Oh God.
So Lisa, can I have some honey?
Yeah, pretty much. What'd you guys think of like the characters in this movie? Like, what did you have your opinion of like the little girl Trudy?
She's she was how do I put this? She served her purpose. She was very like wholesome and sweet and kind of what you would expect from a little girl. So I was like, she's cute. Like I didn't really have like a big issue with her, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, when it comes to kid actors, she did her job. She was cute. And I think it's very complimentary for this type of movie where, it definitely, I do get the feel where the director is mainly saying, like, all right, it's not so much about, like, a very realistic performance here. We know what kind of movie we're making. We're a comedy. We're very self-aware. It's a parody of, Christmas-type movies. I mean, this is basically like a parody on Die Hard in some ways. So,
yeah, definitely like a parody on what's it called, Home Alone too.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, there's some really cool kill sequences that you get later on with stuff like that. Yeah, but in terms of like the kid acting, I didn't really mind her. I can she's not particularly good, but in terms of being serviceable and being a cute kid, I think in this movie, in this role, it worked, and I didn't think it was bad in the traditional sense. She's a little girl. I'm not gonna tear apart this little girl's acting choices in this movie. I'm sure she'll have a very long and prosperous career in Hollywood. Little Miss Leah Brady. Yeah, she was fine. One of the things that I really wanted to get into is John Leguizamo's performance. As
yes,
I was
waiting. I was like, oh my god, yes, let's get into it.
All right, so with
Yeah, his
John
performance.
Leguizamo, like as Mr. Scrooge, that was sick. I love John Leguizamo just in general. Ever since the '90s when
Hmm.
he was like starting to pop off as a young comedic actor. That's really really weird. So seeing him
Hmm.
be a little bit more adult and everything is actually really nice. I love seeing him get more work.
I love how charismatic he is too.
Yeah,
Like obviously
Yeah.
he's a villain in this, but he still has like a charisma to him where you just like his energy in these scenes are just very entertaining to watch.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed his over. Yeah, it was very over the top and very goofy. Again, I know what kind of movie we're watching. I think his
And it
performance
was
in this
probably
movie
in
worked.
and like
yeah.
to add to that point, it's probably like intentional. Like you like the way he's acting, he also knows what he's in. And like, dude, he also had some moves. I was like, damn. In this
Oh
movie, he
yeah,
got a couple fight scene moments. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Like with he just had that like hammy performance that I feel like if
yes,
anyone didn't have that
Hmm.
hammed up performance, it would kind of stick out. Every single person in here is like a caricature of like the normal person, which works for the tone of this movie. And I feel like him as the main
exactly.
villain was that was a good choice. Like he chose the right way to go about doing it. Just have fun with it. Be as outlandish and just implausible as possible.
Yeah.
There were some like his side henchmen though. Like since we're on the subject of characters, I didn't think they were that good to be honest.
They were
Like
there.
I they were there very kind of like how you like how John Leguizamo. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I can never say his last name correctly, but
That was good.
yeah, his character is like you guys said, it's very bombastic, very over the top, very like he understands the kind of movie he's in, and the other actors I feel like to an extent do understand the type of movie they're in, but I don't really feel like I get that too much from their performance. Nothing about them like really stood out to me. I thought they were just very flat. They were just there. Um, Nothing too memorable. I wouldn't say they did too great of a job in my opinion.
The
The
Hmm.
psycho henchman was very over the top, but it really seemed like they could have just used him for more. I feel like it was just kind of wasted.
That's how I felt like with most of the henchmen because I didn't find anything that they were doing particularly funny. Like there was that one guy who had to watch the family in the living room.
Oh, the psycho
Uh,
guy.
yeah, the psycho guy. Like it's just the dialogue he's giving off is just not particularly funny, and I don't think he's like performing it well either. Like, or like, oh, I've seen this a million times, or they say like, oh, I'm about to kill you, or or and then like a million distractions comes up, or he gets distracted by something really easy or stupid, or I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like this is a really lame cliche that I don't really need in this movie.
Yeah, that was a
But
big thing too with that cliche where not just shooting. Like
yes, I'm
that was
like,
very
yes.
prominent.
Even in some of David Harbour's situations, like I think his very first encounter, the guy could have easily shot him, very easily, but fucking gave him the full opportunity to like I can't remember what movie did on him, but give him enough time to get close enough to whoop his ass. Just oh man, there's
It
just so many opportunities like that where it's like okay, like again, like I know this is the kind of like surrealist type of comedy. You're not supposed to take everything very literal, but at the same time, those are things that I can criticize. Like it's not things that I particularly like in the movie. I don't like moments like that where you could obviously kill him and shoot him, but you don't for plot's sake or whatever.
Yeah, it's like when that one henchman, the Asian henchman, when he walks in, and they were just killing everyone. They basically had a do kill and a don't kill, where the immediate family was a don't kill, like bring him into the room. But this is just they thought that this guy was a worker, so why didn't they shoot him? Like why did they try to take him hostage? Like it made no sense.
Dude, yes, that's exactly what I was like. Just watching that, I was like, okay, he literally said, if anyone who's not in immediate family, just kill him. Like, nobody else matters. Just the family is important. So him trying to keep him alive was kind of like, what? Like well, then if you pointing that out just kind of says like, oh, then you don't get the movie and all this other stuff doesn't happen and blah blah blah. But you could still at least like acknowledge it or try to find a better way to.
It could be written better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it could
exactly.
be written better. Exactly. Like I don't know. It was like they killed Al, the gate guy. Like
Mhm.
they killed everyone. I don't know. Like I was like, man, I liked Al.
Yeah, very one-dimensional bad guys in like situations like that. I'm like, okay, like, all right, we're going like full cartoon here.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think I was gonna like it when I seen that first interaction because of that. But
Mhm.
as it went on, I was like, oh, okay, all right, it's what I thought it was gonna be. I like this.
There was one thing I wanted to touch on. When they first introduced the house where all the action's going to be taking place on, it's a really cool one tracking shot where you go through all the characters and you go through all the decorators where you don't even realize that they're the people that are going to be infiltrating the house later. And you don't even realize it while you're following, I believe it's one of the, I can't remember, it's one of the family members that are on the phone for some reason. But yeah, it's a really fucking cool tracking shot, and I really do like this movie from a directing standpoint. Like I think there are some really cool shots here. I think the action is pulled off very well, which I do want to get into. It's directed by David Leitch, I believe. Sorry, I might have said that wrong. Oh wait, no. I'm so sorry. It's directed by Tommy Wirkola. He's not really known for too much. His only other movies are The Trip, What Happened to Monday, Dead Snow 2, and then Hansel and Gretel.
Oh
Oh,
my God, Hansel and Gretel, the one with
Ye-
Hawkeye.
yes,
Oh,
Jeremy Renner,
jeez.
Witch Hunters.
Did you
Oh,
guys
that's
hear about
crazy.
him recently? Sorry to sidetrack, but did you hear about what happened with Jeremy Renner?
No.
Yeah, he got in an accident recently. He was
Yeah.
in critical condition, but he's stable.
Mhm.
Oh God, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Well, hope for a speedy recovery for him. He's a good actor. It sucks that happened.
Oh, he is a good actor. Like, damn.
Yeah, so that sucks.
I actually liked him in his TV show too.
What was it? It was the mayor of Kingstown or something like that.
No. The Hawkeye TV show.
Oh, the Hawkeye
Disney.
show.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Hawkeye. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
But
okay.
he does have a
Oh.
show. He has a show called that, right? It was on Paramount Plus. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's something like that. He plays like a mayor or something.
IMDbing it right now.
Matt to the rescue. IMDb.
Also,
Mayor of Kingstown.
Mayor of Kingstown. Yeah. Okay.
also
That was pretty
the
badass.
Yeah. No, I've heard that show's pretty good too.
real quick, the mother in
Rated
this
really
movie,
high too.
real quick.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, let's get back to the discussion. Go on, Rico. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right,
I don't want to get
sidetracked.
All right, real quick. The mother in this movie was banging. Holy crap, she was so cool. I just really
Extra
got
point.
fixated on that. I was like, holy crap. Yeah, so the do you guys remember the grandmother?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a whole subplot in this movie where basically the family is trying to get the inheritance from the grandmother. Essentially, they're hoping that she dies in the next year, and that's why the sister, who's a alcoholic bastard, basically, is trying to vie for that and trying to compete with her brother, who just wants out of it. And it's revealed later on in the movie that all of the money that the kidnappers at the infiltrators are trying to take was actually already stolen by the father in this movie. And
Yeah. Yeah, the father of the little girl Trudy, but yeah, the son of the mother's house that they're all at.
yeah,
Mhm.
Jason, that was his name.
Fun fact: that guy is played by
Alex
Translucent from The Boys. That's the same actor.
Holy
Hassel.
crap! Holy crap!
Is
I
it-
was wondering where this guy was from. I
I
could
was
not
like, that's
remember.
Translucent.
He looks
Watching the
so
movie, I was like-
familiar. He's such a
Yeah,
dick.
The Boys.
Oh my god.
Okay, he's been in another movie I saw recently too. But yeah, he was how'd you feel about him?
I actually liked him. I thought he was pretty cool. He looks like a very sympathetic father type character, which I felt like it just fit. I don't know. I thought he was really good. I liked him. I liked the whole broken marriage type thing, even though it's like a big Christmas cliche type of thing, especially them getting back together at the end. I still like how even though they're having all these problems, they're obviously like in the process of getting a separation, it seems like. They still were like coming together all the time for their kid and trying to put on this like facade essentially, but they still
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I liked that. It looked very realistic.
I think he pulled off being a good dad. I think he pulled those scenes off very well. I don't
Yeah.
think he really necessarily. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily his fault. I again, problems with the script. I don't like the fact that they try to they kind of try to make him kind of a badass, not like a badass, but like trying to make him like fight back. More towards the end, like, oh, we have to have him do something, so we'll have him fight back but lose. And
Oh, he
I'm
got his
just
ass
like,
beat.
okay, like, yeah, sure, he's doing something. It's not much. And it's just, I don't know. I didn't really feel much of an impact of him doing much of anything towards the end. Like, it's just like, okay, the script is like, all right, he needs to have a redemptive arc, so let's just have him do something, even though he can't really do that something. It's the effort that counts.
Yeah, I kind of appreciated that because not everyone's a badass. Not everyone knows how to fight. And this dude's entire
No, I
background,
know.
he's
Like
like privileged.
that's fair.
And I was like, I like how they made him like a total kind of like incompetent. Like he didn't swing really at all, and it just like. Plus, he had a broken finger, and I was like, yeah. And then his wife kicked the dude's ass, basically. Well,
Yeah.
luckily, got a icicle.
Jammed it, ran the
Very
guy. It was like his eye, right? Where he stabbed him?
Right in the neck area.
Oh, the neck. It was the neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys, that actually makes me want to talk about it. What did you guys think of all the prop kills that they had in this movie?
Really
Oh
good.
boy.
Really good.
I thought the last one was particularly
Dude, let's save that one for a little bit. But let's talk about do you guys want to did you guys have like an opinion on the whole star kill?
I liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. I was just like, oh shit. Like, just the visual of it is what really stood out to me. I was like, all right, I fuck with that.
Yeah, I particularly loved when he like brought out a hammer. I was like, ooh, okay.
Especially with that whole backstory too.
Yeah, and dude, I've been playing God of War, so like that whole like aesthetic made me go, "Oh my god, God of War!" And like it was just so cool. I was just like, "Yeah, I can imagine Kratos being Santa Claus now." He's like, "Merry Christmas, boy." So I thought it was hella cool that they gave Santa, like, and it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because how long Santa has been around through folktale and everything like that. Because doesn't he extend like way back in olden times too, or certain periods of time? I can't remember exactly.
I mean, I've never been familiar with like any of the lore of like Santa Claus. I just thought it was like, I just thought it was kind of funny that they added some backstory here in this movie, because you didn't even need to do that. But
yeah, they didn't
to do that extra effort of like, oh, he was a bad like Viking warrior. He beat people's ass with a hammer. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So when they were given this backstory, this is what I thought they were putting this backstory in for. I thought it was like so you know that scene where they keep on showing him with his like warhammer and it keeps zooming out of him and he's like on a battlefield with like burning buildings in the back. I thought that like because he was like, oh yeah, I used to be a warrior. I was like the naughtiest of the naughty. And I don't understand this Christmas magic and everything. So I thought that he killed like the original Santa Claus and then became the new Santa Claus. And I thought that they kept on showing that scene because they're going to be like showing that when you zoom all the way out, he killed Santa Claus. And I thought that the Mr. Scrooge in this movie, who was very, very naughty, was going to be killing him and then become the new Santa Claus and have a second chance. So that's what I thought, that they put that story in there, because I thought like, oh, if he dies in battle, like a new Santa Claus appears.
Yeah, you had that more thought out than they actually did.
I know.
I was about to say, like, that is so fucking detailed. I'm like, I was like, I didn't get any of that at all.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Yeah, they just kept showing the scene and just kept zooming out, and then his whole backstory of him being a warrior. I was like, all right, well then how the hell did he become Santa? Like, what the fuck? I thought he was going to be like...
Yeah, they never answered that question. I thought they would go a little bit more into that stuff, which I kind of wish they would have. I would have liked them to do that in preparation to, cut out some other things that I didn't like so much in this movie.
Yeah, I thought he was going to have like a heart-to-heart with John Leguizamo as he's dying and stuff, and then be like, you can do better, you don't have to hate this holiday, or something like that, and then basically give him a second chance to be a better person, someone that loves Christmas instead of hates it, Like, give him a chance to give kids what he wasn't given.
I think he's pretty unredeemable by that point, though. he killed quite a few people,
that's probably
and
that's
he's like permanently on the naughty list.
I don't know. I mean, you look at what is it? David Harbour. David Harbour. You look at him. He was covered in blood when they first saw him, so I thought he was gonna be like the heinous one.
More well thought out than the actual writers.
I know, dude. I was like, I was watching this. I just was like, oh, that's what they're gonna do. Like he's gonna die at the end. John Leguizamo's gonna become Santa Claus, and I was like, oh, okay. I had this whole thing already like built up in my head. I was like, oh, that's how it's gonna end.
Yes, you did.
It was not how it went. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I was completely off.
Yes, you did.
I was like, why put this like
backstory?
backstory?
Kind of leave it open for a sequel.
Yeah, you could.
Maybe. I mean, they could.
Yeah, with John Leguizamo's line of saying like, "You don't," and he's like, "Why didn't you ever help me?" or something, and then Santa Claus responds with like, "I don't interfere. That's not what I do." Like, but then he's in this moment, he's interfering. So it would be like, what if he continues to do that?
Would there be repercussion if he did? Interesting question to answer in future sequels if it gets one.
Hey, get ready for that Violent Night franchise that's coming around the corner next Christmas holiday season.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Like, I remember when I think Andrew and I were talking about it, but he brought up like doing like different like type of seasons, like like a Valentine's Day type one or like a Halloween type one.
Easter Bunny.
These like kind of like Easter Bunny. My bad. Yeah, more so like type of characters that have like mascots and whatnot, or Cupid or something. Those can be interesting movies. I can definitely see franchise potential here.
Imagine if like because Santa keeps interfering throughout like Christmas and stuff, like the other holidays get mad and hunt him, kind of like what they do with like John Wick 3 or something like that.
Oh jeez.
Gotta get Santa. Like it's just like this intense fucking thriller thing, but Santa's like our protagonist and shit.
Like you upset the order of the holiday pantheon, now you're gonna get got.
Yes, crazy shit like that.
Him just going after the leprechaun and everything.
Oh my god, they got Keanu Reeves as like the Easter Bunny.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That'd be amazing. It's like a camera pan. There's the Easter Bunny's ears in the back of his head. Terrence just goes, yeah. Like just thinking something crazy like that. I'd be crazy if they could. It'd be really crazy and fun. And the movies might not be perfect, like with this one, but I think they would still be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it would just be like dumb fun with like Daniel Radcliffe as Cupid.
I
like that idea. Daniel Radcliffe.
Damn, I was thinking Jack Black, but Daniel.
Oh my god, that would be fucking hilarious.
Jack Black as Cupid. I like that.
Well, shit. Is there anything else you guys want to get into, or
yes.
do you guys want to get into ratings?
Yes, sir. There's one more thing. What did you guys think of that final kill? Well, almost final kill with John Leguizamo.
It was very satisfying. Holy shit.
So pretty much what happens is the whole time Santa's magic's running out, but he has this power where he can like tap on his nose and go up the chimney. He's pinned to the chimney. He taps on his nose and then grabs onto John Leguizamo and drags him up through the chimney, crushing him and killing him the entire way up. And that scream was fucking horrendous. That was a great scream.
Yes, it was. You felt the intense pain and you're like, oh god.
Yeah.
And then the visual of all the blood coming out of the chimney afterwards. Yeah. I was like, oh damn. Jeez. Rained blood for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
Just like,
oh my god.
Just a freaking geyser of blood just popping up and him just holding onto that torso, dismembered torso. Like,
yep.
So stupid, but so fucking cool at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely the best kill.
Yeah, best kill. And I think, like I said before, the whole action of this movie just works as a whole. Like, it's very satisfying action. It's just... There's just really something about seeing Santa wield a sledgehammer and just bash people's face in. Like, it's never been done before. And, I'm glad that it has been done. It definitely stands out. Left an impression on me.
I feel like we just need more, like, movies like this where we're just dumb fun again,
Yeah, another movie that kind of echoed the same energy was Bullet Train for me.
Oh
where
yeah.
like yeah, like they really focus on like the fun aspects of, film. They didn't really care too much about like a tight script or story or anything like that. It's just, it's really more so focused on the fun. Yeah, like you said, I would love to start seeing more movies like this. And hopefully we do because, according to Box Office Mojo, this movie was very profitable according to its budget with its worldwide gross.
Do you have that off
Good.
the top of your
How
head,
much?
like how much this was?
Yeah, it made 73 million at the box office with a $15 million budget.
Oh, dang,
Wow.
that was
So
cheap.
That's good.
yeah, so let me Google it again just to be sure. I could be off. Okay, my bad. The budget was actually 20 million.
Mm.
So
20
like,
million and it made 73 million. So almost four times its budget back.
so was
Wow.
that in its like
That's-
opening weekend or in total?
No, that's in total. That's everything. That's
Oh,
domestic
wow.
and worldwide put together. So, it's not like a resounding like over $100 million success, but it did profit. So it does leave the door open. I mean, yeah, that's the box office total, but that's not everything. That doesn't also account for pay-per-view rents or across other platforms and whatnot.
Or
So,
this $25 renting fee?
no,
Or
that too.
renting
No,
costs?
exactly. So, like, when you take those into consideration, I do think there is enough here to deem it as a success. I definitely do think we might see another movie in this universe. It could be like another situation with John Wick, like we talked about last week. The budget of that first movie, I believe, was only, I think, 19 million, and it made 87 million back. And then the movie after that doubled its budget. It went up to 40 million, but it made 173 million. It all depends on how you budget these things. I definitely think we'll get another one though. I'd be excited to see one. I'd love to see David Harbour reprise this role, particularly.
Yeah, me too. That's something that would be really cool to see.
Would it be cool to see Santa or Mrs. Claus getting into the mix and everything? Seeing her start being this Valkyrie of a lady that used to be like, oh yeah, warrior princess or something, going after all these other people.
That'd be
Okay,
pretty
quick. Who'd you cast?
Oh fuck.
Oh god, who would I cast? Okay, just because I'm really like binging like Stranger Things right now, I would say Winona Ryder. I think they have great cast. I think they have like great chemistry together.
Okay.
That's good, but it's like
Pretty-
they've
Two on the
it's
nose.
already been kind of done. Yeah, two on the nose.
Yeah, that'd be too easy. Or like people would be like, really? Because of Stranger Things, like that'd be like their first response if they were to see that.
Cameron Diaz.
That would be an interesting pick.
Yeah, like maybe.
I could just see her
I
as
actually
Mrs.
did have
Claus.
one.
You know what? What about Emily Blunt? 'Cause
Oh,
I think
That's
she
good
could put
too.
that back
Because
into-
I was thinking a blonde.
like yeah, because she could like or maybe
She
Charlize
might say it.
Theron.
yeah, her. I think she could do it.
Okay. Charlize Theron would
When
be
you
a
said
really good
when
one
you said
too.
blonde, I was like atomic blonde. What about her? Like she could
Sandra.
do it. She's at, like the right age where she could play in like a Mrs. Claus, but still young enough to do all the physical action and stuff like that. Like, because she's not a stranger to it, so I definitely think we could see that. That'd be cool.
Hey, Sandra Bullock can dye her hair blonde.
I was thinking Sandra Bullock, but I was like,
God, dude, I love Sandra Bullock.
I love her,
Hot.
dude. She's cool.
I was just like, I love her. She's dope. Yes.
I like Sandra Bullock, but no, I would think Nicole
Matthew.
Kidman. I was like, I have to throw my pick out there.
Yo,
I think
Nicole Kidman. I haven't seen her in a long time, man.
He was
Oh
in
no, wait,
Northman. What do you
no,
mean?
she was in Northman. Yeah, wait a
Yeah,
second.
I was about to say, wait a minute, my guy.
Just a year ago. Oh wow, never mind.
Sandra Bullock would be cool too. Yeah, I would like that. I think she could do serious roles pretty well.
I like her.
Well, kinda. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait, what's a serious movie that I've seen her in that I've actually liked? And I'm really trying to think about it.
What was she in Ocean's 8 when she?
I haven't
was...
seen the Ocean. I'm trying to go off the ones that I. Shit, let me go through my IMDb.
Oh,
okay.
Miss
okay,
Congeniality,
okay. Nope, I'm
man.
catching myself. No tangents. We can't get too off course.
We
Go
should get
back.
into ratings.
And I'm like, no. I'm already going through my shit. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You guys want to get into ratings? Or?
yeah.
Yeah, let's
Okay. Well, Rico, these were your set of movies. Yeah, freaking. Do you want to go last? Do you want to go first? Do you want to go in the middle?
I'll go first on this one. So
Okay.
Okay.
I really like this movie. I thought it was like really cool. I know that it's not a perfect movie. It's not like a grand movie, something that's gonna be looked at for generations to come. Maybe I don't know. Maybe holiday movies do have that retaining quality
It might
about
get a
them.
cult status. I think it will.
Yeah, probably. I really do like this movie. I think the thing that makes me the most excited is like what it can like inspire other creators to basically do, like make some like outlandish, funny things. And I really did like the nostalgia factor in this movie with like Home Alone and all that stuff. It was a little goofy, it seemed like it kind of struggled between being like adult and also like kid friendly. Uh, I think they handled it pretty well, but it still felt a little weird at some spots. So that being said, I was kind of teetering on like 6 and 7, but I think I'm gonna give it a 7 because I thought it was fun. I would watch this again definitely. Like I feel like if I have a need to like want to watch a movie again, I feel like it bumps it up a bit more. I feel like next holiday season I'll give it a go again. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, no, rewatchability is definitely an important factor here, and I agree with you. This is definitely something I would rewatch in the future, like around Christmas time. Like, I would definitely be okay with adding this to my collection of Christmas movies that I would like to rewatch during the holidays. I found it really funny. Well, at times there's definitely some comedy here that doesn't work.
Hmm.
The action, for the most part, works. I love seeing Santa Claus bash people's faces in with a hammer. It's very unique. It stands out in your head, and yeah, it's very gory. Those effects are done very well. I agree with Rico in some of his criticisms in terms of like there is like some weird balancing of tones with trying to be a little kid friendly and also kind of being like a really hard, kind of, not, I wouldn't say serious, but like a much more gory type of movie. I am still overall satisfied with this movie. The acting is good for the most part. I'll definitely be rewatching this in the future. I also give this a 7 out of 10. The 7 out of 10 I love though. What do you think, Andrew? What are you gonna rate this thing?
Well, that's crazy because we got sevens all across the board. I was literally like, as soon as Rico said 7, I was like, yeah, that's where I am too. But let's see what Matt says. And then you said 7. I was like, all right, perfect. So I'm definitely a 7 for
Ding
this
ding
one.
ding 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 ding.
Yeah, exactly.
Jackpot.
Yep. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. It was very entertaining, very funny. Like you said yourself too, Matt. Not all the jokes landed, but it was still a good time overall. It wasn't too complex, but it wasn't. It also wasn't too simple either. It just had like that nice balance in terms of concept, but it does also struggle with the tonal shifts, and they don't feel. I feel like you can make those two work together, but had they just had stronger writing to kind of transition into it, I feel like then it could have been a lot better. But maybe they will down the line if they make more movies. But I still enjoyed it. David Harbour was great as Santa Claus. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. It's really good.
Jackpot, fellas. We fucking did it.
Mhm.
Hey,
We
that's
did
good
it.
luck.
Sevens all around.
That's a
I think
good
that's our
score.
first sevens all around.
It is. It is. It's a Christmas miracle.
I should have like some sort of like sound effects just all like ready on deck for this kind of like occasion. Just slot
No, I
machines
know.
rolling right now.
In my head, like horns were going off, like.
But all right, you guys
Yeah.
ready to move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Yes, go right into it, Rico. Introduce
Bishop.
us once again.
This is my recommendation. So my recommendation was Sweeney Todd, the demon barber from Fleet Street. And it's the story of Benjamin Barker, who was in a very loving marriage with his wife. Then, out of nowhere, a judge comes by and basically shits all over his life and sends him off, and then sends his wife into a crazed state of, I don't know, she's just a crazy woman at this point, but he thinks she's dead. Takes his daughter, and then eventually wants to fuck his daughter. And now Benjamin Barker is back to settle the fucking score. This is where we are with the beginning of the movie, and he goes on what is probably one of my favorite killing sprees in all of these musical type of movies, which is also funny because this is our very first musical too. And I love that it's this one with all the gore and everything. And I'm really curious to hear what you guys thought about it. Andrew, what'd you think, man?
Oh, I loved it. It brought out my inner theater kid. Like I always love movies. Like they're not always gonna have the same score, but I really really enjoyed this one. I had seen it one time in high school when I was doing theater, and then I kind of just it slipped away in my memory. Then we watched it for this episode. I actually really liked it like a lot more watching it again now that I'm older and I have a different lens to watch things through now. So I enjoyed it a lot. A lot of good character work with Mr. Benjamin Barker. Like it was just really cool. What do you think, Matt? How'd you feel about it?
Okay, so this was, I believe, my third time watching this movie. I watched it when it came out back in the day. I watched it a few years ago when I first started dating my girlfriend, and then I watched it now for this podcast. I will be honest, I've gone from I really liked it to really loving it back to kind of in a middle in between. Like there's some things I love here, but there are definitely some things that I'm much more critical of this time around, which I'm really eager to get into. But I did really like this movie, like that's for sure. I do still really like this movie. Johnny Depp's portrayal of Sweeney Todd in this movie is just I think it's awesome. Like I love when he does like these like gothic type of characters because he does them really well, which we've seen in like Edward Scissorhands. What's that other one? I think it's called like Dark Shadows, I believe.
Yeah, Dark Shadows.
But yeah, he plays this, or Sleepy Hollow is another one.
Love that movie. Yeah.
The Ninth Gate, Deep Hell. Johnny Depp plays these kind of gothic characters very well, and that's another compliment that I want to give to the film. I really do love the gothic aesthetic here in a lot of these shots. I think the set design is also very complimentary towards that. Everything here looks very like dreary and dark and muddy, but in a good way. Where this place takes place, London, right? It takes place in London, right?
Yep, London with the
yeah.
big black pit where everyone there is full of shit.
Yeah, like they do a really good job at making this place look like a total shithole.
Oh, it looks terrible.
I do love the set design here. When it's just stationary shots, there are a few instances where I don't like how they shoot some of these things. Like, for example, like there's some CGI use in some of these shots, which I don't think look good, and I don't think it aged well at all. For example, when he first gets to the harbor, we first get to the bay, we get like a weird kind of camera shot that goes through all the streets, but it's kind of like it's sped up, but then it'll take a few moments to chill and show you what's in the shot, and then it'll speed off to another corner, and then we get to where he needed to go, where he gets to Fleet Street. Yeah, I thought that whole shot looked really bad.
Oh yeah,
like, I didn't
really
like
does.
a lot of the CGI in this movie. What did you think of that shot, Rico? Andrew?
So I thought that shot was pretty horrible, but at the same time, it kind of gave me like cartoon type feels, which I feel like I think it would have looked cooler if it was like just cartoon, like more animated. I don't know.
Well, then the whole thing would need to be animated. Then,
Yeah.
like I would have just been okay with them just not shooting it that way. Just take it out.
Yeah,
you can just edit
really
to him
weird.
at the barbershop already.
Now that you say that, I could have imagined Sweeney Todd being made into the similar animation style they did with like The Corpse's Bride and then Nightmare Before Christmas. That'd be cool to see Sweeney Todd in that kind of like animation style. Just because we were saying that right now made me think that. But I felt like that shot wasn't really that good either. I was watching it like, ooh, Tim, it's okay. Just better luck next time kind of thing with certain shots. You can kind of see the idea. It's just the execution, which is what makes you go, ooh, maybe don't shoot it like that.
Yeah, they really wanted to show that London was like just a big like cesspool, basically. Just like really gross and just dreary. It kind of falls short.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way that they have everything else, it conveys that same message. So I can see why I can see if they like just took that out, but at the same time, you wouldn't have that little score that was just playing during it. So they just needed some filler
Well,
to like
no,
showcase some
that's
music.
also no, yeah. To add to that point, that's kind of the idea of this because it's a musical. So the main focus isn't really the way everything is shot, but more of how it's performed, like, with the music, and if the music is telling the story properly and it's not getting confusing or anything like that. Because people can get confused when they watch musicals because they won't really understand what the song means, so they won't really get the story. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can kind of tell where their focus really was with this movie, which, it's still good because it's a really good musical anyway. So
Yeah, just a lot of the music and then the over the top gore.
yeah, the effects on that too. I was gonna ask, how did you feel about that, Rico? With the because I feel like that was a big reason why you recommended it, because they do really good stuff with that. But how
Yeah,
did you feel?
that is like one of my favorite parts about it because it's completely unrealistic looking blood. It's like
Hmm.
super bright red and it just shoots all over the
Oh,
place.
I
Like,
love it though.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so cool.
Hmm.
I love it so much. It's like people apparently have like buckets upon buckets of blood and it's just all over the place. Like, I love that so much, and seeing like a lot of the behind the scenes type stuff. Like, it's really really cool just seeing how they did it. Just because now I also know how to do it. So if you guys ever wanna do our own rendition of Sweeney Todd, I
Yeah,
feel
I was
like
about to
we
say throat slips don't seem too difficult.
yeah
That seems fun.
yeah I feel like we could give a little run for the money if you guys have the singing chops for it.
Oh boy. I
Oh,
don't know about the singing chop.
then you lost.
Matt,
I can be very monotone.
hey Matt,
I
I'm
can
pretty
talk. I can do spoken word.
Matt, I'm pretty sure we can style your hair exactly like Johnny Depp's hair in this movie.
We
No, I know it's
could.
within the realm of possibility.
We
I know.
could. Oh my god.
I
You
feel
know
like
what?
hey,
We would need a lot of hairspray and gel, but it could be done.
hey,
Mhm.
it could be done, and if it can be done, it should be done. So let's do it.
Mhm.
But yeah, so what did you guys think about all that over the top type of blood use?
I was gonna say, you can tell it's intentional.
No, I really liked it. I thought it was utilized very well here. I think it works very well with the aesthetic that this is kind of like a play in that sense. Looks very well from a visual standpoint too. Like like Rico said, like obviously it looks very fake. It looks a little too red, but I think it looks good, complementing the film with that color tone. You see like a very bright red contrasting this very dark and dreary environment, and yeah, I think it pops. It looks good. I think some of the gore effects are really nice too. Like whenever he drops a body down,
Yeah,
like I particularly remember the
Mhm.
scene where the little boy is investigating downstairs, and you just see that dude's neck get fucking snapped the
yeah,
second
Oh
it drops down.
yeah.
I was like,
Shit.
oh my god, like this is a lot more like gory than like. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've all seen gorier for sure, but
yeah.
like I don't know, for like a big mainstream type movie, musical esque type movie like this, like I was like, whoa. Nice. Didn't expect that level of effect in this type of movie, but it looked good. I really appreciated that level of dedication
Yeah,
to these effects.
and I love how they kept the chair too, because in the Sweeney Todd play, that is like a big thing where he like dumps them basically down into the pit, so that Mrs. Lovett, one of my favorite characters, I had a huge crush on that actress for the longest time because of this movie, could make them into little meat pies and everything. So seeing that be retained in this movie was really really cool to see, and I was like, I love how he like has a little montage of tricking it out and everything.
Mhm.
But that brings up another good like little segue. What'd you guys think of Mrs. Lovett and her struggling yet soon to be prosperous business?
Yeah, I thought the actress did very well. She definitely gave a very very good performance. Her motivation for not telling Sweeney Todd is a little much. Okay, so yeah, full spoiler discussion. Full spoiler discussion from here on
Let's
out because there's some details I want to get into because I definitely feel like I missed it upon this watch. she does know that his wife is still alive, but she doesn't tell him because why?
She wants to shag Mr. Barker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like okay, so that's really it. She just wants him for herself. Okay, so
Yeah, she's simping
okay,
hard. She's simping very hard for Mr. Barker.
Or his big old Bach.
Big old
yeah,
Barker.
there you go.
Benjamin Barker.
Yeah. Andrew, how'd you feel about her and her whole business model?
I forgot what it was, like, because, like, watching it again, I went, oh, that's what she did with, oh, boy. Like, with the whole, the meat pie stuff, I was just like, oh, wow, that's what happened. That's the one thing I did not remember. But so it was kind of like a funny surprise, like, oh, yeah, that's what happened. So the fact that people were eating them, like really enjoying them, I was like, Jesus, we really are savages.
Yeah. My whole favorite
Like
part.
business got more popular.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
started
It's
booming.
like fucking animals. And I like how, I forgot what part it was, but when they were singing together, Sweeney Todd and Miss Lovett, about how shitty the world really is, or whatever, how shitty people are. Like, that's when they decided to start doing all that. So I really like that build up to that too.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
that musical where they were that little number where they were just like, try the fryer on the prior or stuff like that. Like I love that play on all the words. I love it so much.
I really like the musical where they're going through the like the sunny landscapes and whatnot,
Oh,
and she's kind of going through like oh like we could be together, this could be our life and whatnot. Like we can have kids and we can be by the beach side or chill under this tree. You can really see the love that she has for him right there. But
you can see all the
freaking
color which is like absent in the rest of the movie because it's just a dream that she had. It's not ever possible in this real world. It's not realistic.
Mhm.
And I love
it's
how
very
they did
dreamlike in the way it's shot. Yeah, I like that you brought that up.
that. Like man, like there's a lot about this movie where I am kind of like there's a lot that is just really really weird about it. For instance, the asylum. Do you guys remember that where they would just like throw people in there and then like kind of like scalp them for hair for the wig master type stuff? Like I like how they made London look so shitty. Like even when they introduced the Judge Turpin in the initial part, he sentences a little kid to die. Like
Yeah, glad we brought that up. Oh my god, that was great. And he was saying some stuff like, "As a man, you must face the consequences of your actions." And I was like, "What?" I was like, this is a child. It was so funny.
And his little toady just being like, "A very popular decision, Your Honor." Like,
Going to death. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. And then you see the kid put his head into his hands. I was just like, oh, fuck.
Just
like,
such
damn, bro.
Professor Snape, man, just such a callous individual.
He really, really. And there's something I wanted to ask. So, in the beginning, Miss Lovett is explaining the story of what happened to Mrs. Barker. Did Turpin rape her at that party thing?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure because I was like, all right, like I don't want to just, go there immediately, but I felt like the way it was shot, they just implied it without really having to say it, which is why Sweeney Todd freaked out when she was like telling him.
Yeah,
and I actually that whole sequence too. Like you see her looking all scared and kind of like, what the hell's going on? And everyone just watching, I was just like, Jesus, that's fucked.
Yeah, she was raped and then lost it. And apparently in Mrs. Lovett's version, she took a tonic that tore up her mind and died. But really, she just went crazy and was forgotten because she was no longer beautiful. Which introduces the whole... him wanting to fuck the daughter when she became of age and locking her away until that day came. What'd you guys think of that story?
Terrible.
Yeah, the implications are obvious. Yeah, obviously horrible. I'm not gonna lie. I do like Ellen Rickman's performance. I do not like Joanna's or the or her love interest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Toby. Or not the little kid. What was the other guy's name? I can't fucking remember.
Spacing.
Anton or something.
Anton, I think it is.
Anthony.
Anthony. No, is it
Yeah,
Anton?
Anthony and Johanna's like whole, love subplot, like I did not like whatsoever. Like that just did not work for me.
I just didn't care about it. Like I didn't pay attention to it. I was kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, the whole thing
Well,
about their
I didn't like their singing parts. Oh, I see you, Joanne. Like that shit was just so annoying to me. Like I could not. Like sure, like he is like an okay singer, but I did not like that number piece whatsoever. Like he just comes off as like a total creep. He doesn't really come off as like, "Oh, I'm going to save you." Like I'm going to take you away from all this. Like that's what the film is telling you to feel. He just came off as like a total creep to me. Like I didn't like that aspect of the film that much at all.
yeah.
Which I mean, another side point I want to get into,
Oh, real
with
quick,
some of the singing.
real quick before we
Yeah,
get
go
into
ahead.
that. So the whole love story between those two, they're supposed to be like a young version of Benjamin Barker and his wife, basically just showing how naive they are and how they're gonna have to learn how bad the world truly is because they're still stupid kids. Essentially, they don't understand that things don't always go their way because there's no actual attraction between them other than a look that they shared one time.
Exactly. And like that whole storyline kind of just gets left up in the air by the end of the movie too.
Yeah,
Like
because
they never go back to it. I'm just like, okay, like obviously like they probably like escaped, but it's not really like brought together well, like a nice tight bow like most stories do. I thought that could have been wrapped up a little bit better.
well, I mean, that girl is traumatized. Like she is done. She and the guy is too naive to gonna. He's not gonna be able to understand what she's gone through, and it's not gonna work out between them. Like,
Oh, definitely can make that assumption.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
that's pretty spot on. Just looking at their characters are very different.
But yeah, that subplot did not really work for me too much. Like every time like that was on screen, I really wasn't as much interested. I really thought this movie thrived whenever we were focusing on Sweeney Todd and oh my god,
Miss
Miss
Lovett.
Lovett. Yeah, that I was really interested in that stuff, and seeing all the kills and whatnot, and get to see his rise as a barber on Fleet Street, and
Yeah,
then
being
you can
super
see Mrs.
frazzled.
Lovett's business grow as well. Like it was a really cool kind of like codependent relationship. Yeah, I thought that stuff really worked. I thought the killing really worked. I loved all that stuff. Yeah, another thing I wanted to get into as well. I don't think some of them are particularly good singers. Like Alan Rickman, for example, just he's just not a good singer. Like that's the only way I could put it.
Oh
Like
wow.
that's just a criticism with some of these musicals. Some of these actors just aren't really good singers, and it kind of shows in the performance. And you kind of like, all right, well, what do you do? Do you get like a singer to dub over this, or do you get the actors to use their actual voices? And with Alan Rickman's case, I can tell they got him to just it'll be a little monotone. It won't be as good, but whatever, it'll get the point across. I didn't find his singing talents to be particularly good, but the acting in every scenario was good for the most part.
That's really
I didn't.
sorry. That was really strange that you felt that way with him. I actually kind of liked his numbers. Like the one at the end where he's singing with Sweeney Todd. I really like their duality on that. I like how I just like his voice. I guess I thought he was pretty good. I actually could fall asleep to him. What about you, Andrew?
Alan Rickman singing. Just like I like this. I liked it. I wasn't expecting too much either because I feel like sometimes with some actors, when they take on a musical role, if they're not, they don't have a background in like musical. Like for example, like when you see like Hugh Jackman being in the musical, that makes sense. Like you could see that because he's a singer. But then when you see an actor who doesn't really do it, take it on, you're kind of like, you kind of you manage your expectations in terms of their singing ability. I've come to learn with musicals.
Yeah, that really shines through with Johnny Depp because he was
Mm-hmm.
he was put in the part, but no one had actually heard him sing before that. He was already casted for that spot, but no one knew if he could sing or not. So a lot of his singing, I like it. I honestly really like his voice just in general. A lot of it was him just speaking very dramatically in many parts. So I feel like
Hmm.
they were able
Yeah,
to work around it to not be like a distraction or anything. I really liked his songs.
it
Hmm.
works well. Yeah, I agree. It's just Alan Rickman to me was just a little bit more distracting.
What's his name? Pirelli. Pirelli. The old apprentice. I used to watch Benjamin Barker cut hair, and then
Yeah,
Oh
Sacha Baron
yeah,
Cohen.
yeah. I was about to say, yeah,
yeah, you guys want to talk about that? Andrew, do you want to start that?
yeah, sure. I completely forgot Sacha Baron Cohen was in it. So the second he came out as the Italian barber, I was just like, oh shit, because I know he has a musical background. So when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, he is in this, huh? So seeing him sing again, I was just like, oh yeah, he's good. I enjoyed him. I enjoy him in the majority of stuff that he's in. He's a very entertaining actor to watch, whether he's doing one of his like Borat kind of projects or if
Yeah.
he's more doing like actual film and theater kind of stuff. Because I know he also has a theater background. I think I could be wrong.
Yeah, he fit really well here. I thought he was
Mhm.
entertaining at all fronts. I love the scene where they're having the shave off, and he's basically just talking hella shit, and
Yeah.
he's singing like, "Oh, this is gonna be easy as fuck," and then by the end of it, it's like, "And the winner is Mr. Todd." It's like,
Oh
what?
yeah, cause, like literally because he was so busy talking, I was like, oh, that's great. That's just good. That's where the writing really shines here. I was like, all right, I get that.
I just love his
Yeah, like
introduction, like where he just pops out of the little tent or whatever they had right there, their little carriage, just displaying full cock and balls right in everyone's faces, just like all out in the open, full frontal, like waving that shit around, just completely hyped up there, just showing everyone his package, and then just out here talking the most shit under this false guise as like the shaver of kings and all that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then all the while is beating the kid in front of everyone, trying to sell this piss.
Oh yeah, towards the
yeah.
fucking throws that kid into the little booth. I was like, oh Jesus.
Even when he's sharpening his blades and everything, he's cutting the little kid each time.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You're just like Jesus Christ.
Just such a piece of shit, unabashedly.
Mhm.
Like, very entertaining. I really liked his whole reveal and everything, and his whole kill too.
Yep, that was really good. How like the second he comes into the shop, loses the Italian accent, starts speaking British, and you're like, oh my god. Like you just like, oh, it's a twist. He recognizes him because he was his apprentice, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess he was like a little cleanup
Or
boy
no,
or
he worked.
whatever. Yeah, a
He
little
just worked
cleanup boy.
and up, yeah. So that was cool. It's a cool little twist to throw in the middle of the story.
God, man, that little kid too was cool. I liked him. I think he
Toby,
had,
right?
yeah, Toby. I really liked his whole like look because he really just
Mhm.
looks like such a street urchin, just like a menacing, evil looking kid. And I felt like it fit perfectly with the visuals of everyone else. But what did you think about
Mhm.
that, Andrew or Matthew?
Oh yeah, Toby. Yeah, he was good. Well, he was okay. He was a little kind of annoying kid actor sometimes. He wasn't that bad to be honest. Kind of in the middle, kind of whatever. I did like his musical introduction when he was first introduced. I don't think he was particularly like annoying or bad or anything like that. Yeah, he was fine. He didn't particularly annoy me that much. Very serviceable. What'd you guys think of Toby?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. He played his part. Wasn't too annoying, but also wasn't very interesting. You sense his feeling of love and care for Miss Lovett because she took him in after the whole Sweeney Todd killing.
Pirelli.
Yeah, yeah, I can remember his name for a second. So you see that stuff and that's interesting, but that's about all you kind of need from the character and all that we get. So I didn't mind him.
Yeah,
Totally.
I like how his whole like little backstory is that he was taken in by Pirelli, and before Pirelli, he was working in the like child labor thing because this is before child labor laws, and that's like
Mhm.
they used to make them drink alcohol, gin, specifically just to keep him awake so that they could work more. So he became an alcoholic as a little child, and he takes the entire bottle and downs that shit on his own.
Yeah.
But yeah, like during that time, like if you ran away as a child worker, you would be brought up and put before a judge, and if you got Judge Turban, you would also be obviously just be hung until he died.
Yep.
Fucking London, man, great place.
London, eh? London is a great place.
But man, do you remember Mr. Beetle, Timothy Spall, from the Harry Potter franchise? He's like the little rat guy.
Oh yeah, Timothy Spall. Yeah, he plays Beetle.
God, I actually hated that dude when I first watched the movie, but as it goes on, I was like, man, this guy's an awesome actor. He's in such like cool movies, and I was like, I'm glad he's just enjoying it, beating the shit out of people, being a dick.
Yeah, he plays that type of character really well.
His singing was not very great, but it was very sparingly used.
Yeah. Again, with like a lot of my criticisms, mainly are just have to do with like the singing, mostly. I just don't think a lot of them are too great of singers. Some of the songs don't stand out too much to me. Some do, some don't. But yeah, I don't know. That was something I realized upon rewatching it this time too. Is like I'm also kind of judging like the songs at the same time too. Yeah, they're well done. I just don't find them too memorable, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of the songs like they were written before they were sung. So like in the original plays and everything, a lot of these songs they were written, and then when people try to go back and like sing them, they realize that there's no space left in between certain lyrics where you can breathe. So that was like a big problem for Mrs. Lovett's character, or Helena Bonham Carter's character, Mrs. Lovett. There was a lot of like her singing where she has absolutely no space to breathe and has to keep going and going and going and going. And it took her a lot of takes to have to do this. And she's not a professionally trained actor or singer. So it was like, a lot of this falls down to the time that these songs were made, because it's like you have to be like a professional to sing and these are all like actors first, so they were just doing it to the best of their abilities. So I give them a lot of slack on it, and I don't think they changed much about them. I could be wrong about that though.
I don't think so. As far as you can tell, that's all the actors that are singing. Like you can tell it's their voices. Like it's not dubbed over it or anything. So.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I hear that too.
You just give them. It's one of those things where it's like you can't really help it. You still notice it though, so it's not like a huge deal breaker for me either.
Same here. It's definitely a musical. I still enjoy the movie quite a bit. Are there any other aspects of this movie that you want to get into? There's one thing I wanted to touch upon, but is there anything you guys want to get into?
No, I'm pretty much good. If you guys, what about you, Andrew?
No, I'm ready to get into ratings after we after Matt tells us what he wants to talk about real quick.
I mean, I've already kind of touched on it. I just really like how dark this movie looks. The set designs and the way a lot of this is shot is very complimentary towards this play style that it's going for. It's directed very well. I know it sounded like I was shitting on this movie for a good portion of it, but I still do really like this movie. I still think it's acted very well. The song pieces, I mean, they may not be for me, but for the most part, they're done very well. It was very interesting that Rico brought up that Mrs. Lovett's character had to really have to flex her diaphragm quite a bit to get some of these songs in. So that's definitely commendable. Like that's no easy task. That's very hard to do. Hell, I talk for like 30 seconds at a time and I get out of breath sometimes. So I could definitely understand, that being a challenge.
Hey, as a tobacco smoker, man, I can go about 5 seconds, maybe 7, and then I'm just gassed. So I commend that shit. That's amazing on her part.
Yeah. I remember when I did theater in high school and I had to do like long monologues where you're talking for a minute and you can't really like you can pause, but you still got to get through a whole monologue. So it's just anything like that is always so it's tedious to not sound like you're running out of breath when you're talking for such a long amount of time. It's really hard. So you always got to respect that, especially when she's doing it like in a singing form too. Like that makes it that much harder.
Yeah, with all those tone changes on top of it, like God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one more thing I actually wanted to talk about.
Okay.
One more thing, because it doesn't. Because honestly, it doesn't get done too often in movies, and I think this movie has a very successful one, and that's the twist. What did you guys think of the twist in this movie? Or,
yeah.
kind of like a, twist reveal, however you want to phrase it, when it's revealed that his dearly beloved is still alive, and turns out it was a character that was established and we knew. Yeah, earlier on in the film, when you see, oh my God, what's his name? I keep fucking forgetting his name. I don't
Turbin?
like him. Anthony. Yeah,
Oh.
when Anthony's singing to Joanna. I think that's when we're first introduced to the old lady, which is later revealed to be Mrs. Barker, right?
Yeah, Lucy.
That's their name?
Yep.
Yeah, it's revealed to be Lucy Barker. Sweeney Todd accidentally slits her throat. He doesn't even think twice about it. He just does it in a spur of a moment because somebody's walking up and he just needs to get rid of her. Doesn't even think about it. Just cuts her throat, and it's later revealed that it was her. And yeah, I actually thought it was a pretty good twist. I didn't see it coming. My mind personally wasn't there when I first watched it, and yeah, I think it's a good reveal, and I think it's a good catharsis of emotions for Johnny Depp's character, and what he does shortly after that, and he freaking kills Mrs. Lovett because of it.
And
But yeah, what did you guys think of that twist?
Andrew, I'll let you go first.
Well, I loved it. I thought it was really cool, and it makes sense because throughout the whole movie, it's very apparent that Miss Lovett is in love with Sweeney Todd. So she's obviously going to do everything in her power to keep him with her. So she obviously knew if she told him that his wife was still alive, then he would definitely try to go back to her so they could like get their daughter back or something. So I really like that, and it's one of those things that's obvious too. Like, oh yeah, of course she wouldn't tell him. So I thought it was very well done, very good. And then when he kills Miss Lovitz after by throwing her in the furnace, I was like, oh, there we go. And then we see her burning like that. Just it looked really good. What did you think though, Rico?
All right, that CGI was terrible. Matt,
Yeah.
this is what you were talking about. I forgot about it until we started talking about this. That CGI on her was terrible, but I love the shot of Johnny Depp's eyes looking in.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so the whole twist and everything, I really loved it. It's what makes the movie for me personally. Because in all accounts and purposes, dude, like Mrs. Lovett is his essential soulmate because they are two terrible people that pretty much are just like such great partners together. It's like so morally depraved that she's okay with him killing people as long as she can hide the bodies by feeding it to the society around him, like it's so like two just villainous individuals doing these things and just finding like, well, it's mostly one-sided. I think it's like completely one-sided. He's just depressed, but like she just finds love with it. Yeah, she just finds love with him, and there's like a couple parts where he's like almost about to like entertain the idea of like giving it up, and it's kind of stopped by both Anthony and then also by the realization that he killed his wife after he kills Judge Turbin. But it's like, I really like it because it's like, it kind of reminds me of like a film noir type of ending where all evil people have to die by the end of the movie, and it just ties it all up together really, really well. And like,
I agree.
I third that.
Yeah, and like Toby being the one to do it, it like basically completely like ends his like innocence essentially. So it's like really sad because he's got a terrible life ahead of him. He's done. He's gonna
Yeah,
die essentially. Yeah.
most likely.
Yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about this movie or chime in on?
I think I'm good. I think that was the last talking point I wanted to get out. That twist.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm pretty good. I feel like we've got a good, healthy discussion of this movie in. We're not going past 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think we're good, to be honest. We're not gonna make Rico's computer tweak out. Yeah, I think we're at a good, healthy amount of time to get into ratings. What do you gentlemen say?
Let's do it.
I am fine with having a shorter recording. Thank God for my mental health this year. 2023, you
Yeah.
know?
Start the year off right.
Hell yeah.
Definitely one of our New Year's resolutions. Definitely try to get these more done in a crisp amount of time.
Mm.
Well, I mean, yeah, crisp amount of time, but I definitely want these conversations to feel natural still. Yeah, our last one was just particularly meaty since it was our first trilogy discussion. We were really excited. Couldn't help ourselves.
Yeah. Really went in depth and I feel like I feel like it justified it, that trilogy. John Wick one.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And we will, oh man, I cannot wait for people to see it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. 3 movies, 3 hours. Let's go.
Woo!
All right, so let's get into ratings. I'll go last on this one. So, Andrew,
Okay.
do you want to go first or Matt?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
With all things considered, given that not everyone in the musical was meant to be in a musical, but it has a really good story, great acting, great character work most of the time, and really great set design, aesthetic, mood, tone. It's all there. Like, it's very enjoyable. So I'm probably gonna give Sweeney Todd a 7 out of 10 as well. I really liked it. I don't know if I'd go any. I mean, I definitely could see myself putting it higher later down the line when I watch it again. Probably make it an 8, but for now I'll stick with 7. It was a good movie. Definitely had some issues here and there, but I enjoyed it overall.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's my cue to go next. So when I first watched this movie, I've had an IMDb count for quite a while now, the past few years. Yeah, I first had it rated at an 8 out of 10. Like I really love this movie when I first watched it. Upon rewatching it this time, I definitely would rate it a little bit lower. I still do love this movie. I wouldn't say the love is as strong as Rico's here, but I still do really enjoy this movie. I would definitely rewatch it again in the future. I think it's a good Johnny Depp performance. Writing's pretty solid. It's a good story. I don't love some of the visual effects. I think they look really bad sometimes, but it does get made up for by the set design and how some of the cinematography looks in this movie. I love how dark and dreary and gothic it looks. I think that plays to the film's strengths. I don't love some of the musical numbers, but they're not enough to tank this movie. Not all of them are really that bad, but yeah, there's enough here for me to enjoy and be entertained by. And yeah, I would agree with Andrew that I too give it a 7 out of 10. But it's a 7 out of 10 I enjoy. Damn it! Finish this off with Rico's thoughts. I'm really curious to see what he thought about it.
All right, so I'm letting you boys know right now that this is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I understand it has a lot of downsides to it. And I'm okay
I
with
wouldn't even
your
say a lot, just a few.
Yeah.
no. It's a good movie, and I'm like what you guys said is very like it's appropriate. Like your guys' 7 out of 10 ratings and everything like that. Me, I would rate this a 10 out of 10. However, I understand it's not that. I would give it a 9 out of 10 because I've watched this movie probably upwards to 100 times because I freaking love this movie. I've shown my ex this movie, and I was like, hey, you know what? This is one of my favorite movies. I would really like for you to watch it, and she loved it too. And I was like, thank God, because I sing these songs in my head way more often than I like to admit. Everything with this movie, I just love the color grading on everything, like how it looks so terrible and depressing. The makeup to make people look more gaunt just looks great. Just the actors themselves, like I really like all the cast. It's a very small cast, and I like how. I mean, yeah, Joanna and Anthony kind of, they're kind of like whatever. They're kind of irrelevant, but I just think everyone in here, this is the closest that Tim Burton has gotten to like making a movie look basically like one of his cartoon type of movies. It really just looks like Corpse Bride to me. Like I just get that feel all the time whenever I watch this. I really just love the uniqueness of his style, especially in this movie, and especially because it's a play that I saw in a different movie, and that's how I learned what Sweeney Todd is. I would love to see Sweeney Todd like live in person one day. I would give this movie a 9 out of 10, purely based on my own biasness of how much I love this movie. I understand it's probably like a 7 or a 6. I love this movie, so I won't give it a 10 because I know it's not a 10 by any means. But I'll give it a 9 because I am so biased on this movie. I love it so much. I don't care. And the set design and everything, how they actually made all the buildings, how all the little like things that the actors put themselves to like learn how to sing. Like I love the dedication to everything. It added depth to all the scenes. It added depth to what the actors were capable of even trying to perform because they knew that they would be under heavy scrutiny by of the entire musical scene, the whole playwright scene. So I would give it a 9. That
Hell
is
yeah.
my rating. Yeah.
I can respect that. That's great. Yeah, fuck yeah, man. You love what you love.
Yes.
No judge.
Yes, exactly. I understand it's not that, but for me, it's even higher. I would give this shit a million. I love this fucking movie. I've never watched a movie as much as this one.
We all have those movies, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, yeah, freaking. I love the Star Wars prequels, but I know they're like 6 out of 10s.
No, yeah, me too. I do. I feel the same way, man.
Bro, you're talking
like I get it.
You're talking to a guy who loves Man of Steel. You know how much hate that movie gets? Like, dude, I get it. I fucking get it.
But all right.
Yeah,
I
as long
guess
as you can
that's-
justify your own rating, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
Exactly, bro. Fuck yeah. You do you.
Yeah, I'm being realistic with it. I love the blood. I love all of the over the topness of it. I love it. I love this one so much.
Hell yeah. Likewise,
Okay.
dude. Likewise.
It was a good recommend, bro. We all enjoyed it.
Thank you. Our first musical. I wonder what the
Mhm.
next one will
Yeah.
be.
Oh, I have one in mind, but we'll talk about that later.
I definitely have a few in mind. I definitely kind of maybe want to recommend La La Land one day, or maybe like fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know those are a few I really like.
Mhm.
Yeah, damn. I'm trying to think of all the musicals I've seen. I know I've seen quite a few, but I'm starting to blank on some of them right now.
Hit me with that
I wanna
Moulin
talk-
Rouge.
Moulin Rouge. I've heard of that movie, but I had no idea it was a musical.
Ewan McGregor is in it.
Is
Oh,
Yeah, he's the main guy.
he? Oh.
I'm added to my watch list right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Nicole Kidman too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Baz Luhrmann directed it. Okay, interesting.
But
He
yeah.
made the recent Elvis movie.
Oh, did it really?
What? Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fancies, man.
Interesting.
But anyways, do you guys want to get
Yeah.
into what is the recommendation for next week?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Matthew?
Yes. Fuck yeah, let's get into it. So next week, okay, so yeah, we are self-aware that our timing is a little bit off, but we definitely want to get the discussion in still. So the first movie we'll be discussing next week is going to be Avatar 2, The Way of Water. That's going to be our new release discussion for the week. And then it's going to be followed by my recommended movie, which is a movie I've been very excited to watch for a very long time now, because I'm a completionist when it comes to my directors, and I haven't seen this movie in their discography, so I was really wanting to watch it, and this was a good excuse to finally do that. So we're going to be watching The Man Who Wasn't There, directed by the Coen brothers.
I'm looking
Very
forward to
excited.
that one. And none of us have watched it.
Mm-mm.
Well, shit. At the timing of this, I did have
Oh, you had time
very
to watch
excited
it.
it. I did. Yeah, I watched it like a few days ago, but yeah,
God
I'm excited.
damn it, Matt.
Well, yeah. Long story short, we were gonna try to do two podcasts at the same time, but life and timing contradicted. So I watched them all within a span of 2 days. So I'm all caught up on stations.
Hey, I feel like we had a
Yeah.
pass. It was the holiday season, both Christmas and New Year's, and then on top of it, we had a pretty
storm.
crazy storm that flooded us, and I wasn't even able to go to any of my home cities.
Yeah, guys. Freaking Northern Cali was pretty bad over here.
Yeah, highways just being
Yeah.
closed off, like that's insane. There were so many trees that fell down around my place, and power went out. So it was just a nightmare.
Yeah, dude. Like the other day, I went to go get Starbucks, which I have to go. I have to go down the underpass, which is 99,
Oh,
and you know which one I'm talking about,
Yep,
Rico. The
yep.
one by Wendy's and Denny's.
oh yeah.
So I went down there and I went to get my Starbucks. I got it. I came back, literally like less than 5 minutes. It was fucking closed off because it was flooded. I was like, what the fuck? Because like I came off through the freeway, so I didn't see like how bad that underpass was flooded until I had to go back home. And yeah, it was so fucking deep that I couldn't see the fucking road. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, dude.
Andrew,
Yeah,
you
I had to get on
some-
the freeway and go on the other side of town just to get home.
Oh no,
Jesus.
Andrew, you had something like that too, huh?
Yeah, just it's like I was telling the guys that like if I felt like I was Kevin Costner in Waterworld because there's so many like puddles and lakes of water all around where I am. I'm just like, fucking hell. I might as well get a fucking
Just
get
get
a
a
fucking
kayak.
just start like my way to work. Like Jesus, all this fucking water.
Jesus.
God, man.
Oh man.
But yeah,
So
it's gonna clear up. Hopefully, well, actually, no, it's gonna be terrible this weekend too.
it's gonna be bad this week. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Wednesday is gonna be the worst of it, and then it's gonna start cooling down. But yeah, apparently the worst is yet to come. I'm over here at my place trying to conserve as much electricity as possible. So
Yeah,
freaking, I'm just chilling in the dark over here with my podcast with my boys.
and
Ooh.
good move, exactly. And then I'm out here with no heat, just freezing my ass off. It's 43 degrees.
I don't have a heater. I mean, I do have one, but I don't have it turned on because you got to save electricity up in this motherfucker, you know?
I got my LEDs.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Well, shit. Well,
I haven't been taken down yet, so.
Yeah. A little bit of a tangent
Anything
at
else
the
you
end
guys wanna
there,
plug
huh?
in?
Yeah. No. Oh yeah. Practically done. So we have a good concept of a video to come out, just a little tutorial type of thing, and how to insert that into like our own little video. Just like practical ways of applying it. We started filming on that. We decided to refilm it, so that's gonna be a little bit of a delay until the storm breaks down. But yeah, follow Practically Done on YouTube, subscribe, and be on the lookout because we are actually very, very excited to start filming everything. We have a lot more ideas coming out, so follow that. What about you guys? Andrew, do you want to talk about the social media?
Yeah, you could always just follow us at AM Podcast 2022 on TikTok. Yeah, we post clips from the episodes there with some visuals, so you're not just hearing our voices, you're like seeing some footage along with whatever subject we're talking about. So that will be linked in our YouTube video at the bottom of the description. So yeah, that's about all I got. Anything else, guys?
yeah, no, I think we're done here. I think we're about wrapped up. Yeah, just make sure to follow us on the socials. We'll have some Practically Done videos coming out here soon. Rico's got some dope ass ideas. Some dope ass ideas. We're gonna show you guys some pretty gnarly shit in the coming days here. I'm fucking excited. Make sure to follow Another Movie Podcast on all those fronts. And yeah, I'll be talking to you guys next week for next week's episode. And yeah, that's about it. Bye, guys.
All right, later.
Peace out.